next in line for the interview roles, we've got Rupert Gutteridge, who's Sales and Marketing Director for Guestline, UK-based but globally active, as I understand it,
Indeed.
Hospitality tech company. So in the broadest sense, hospitality tech, but specifically, what is it that Guestline does?
So we're particularly involved in the core hospitality or the core hotel systems that are in place. So that would be central reservation systems, property management systems, distribution solutions, point of sale, anything that's to do with the transaction, managing the guest prior to the stay, during the stay, and after the stay.
Okay, so within that, what's the most interesting part of that piece at the moment from your perspective?
Everybody's talking about migration from premise-based solutions to cloud-based solutions. And there's a number of new entrants into the market as well, as everyone can more easily deploy solutions via the cloud, because you're not having to worry about hardware in the properties and all that kind of stuff. So we're seeing an awful lot of people move towards cloud-based technology. Now, we've had cloud-based technology for some 8 years now, 9 years. So that's the buzz thinger at the moment. Cloud solutions. We've been there for a while, so we've got a good deal of functionality and well-established that place. But that's kind of what people are talking about.
So you and I here at ITB next to eTravel World, we know what cloud solutions are. The tnooz audience presumably knows what cloud solutions are. But when you're going out to hotels, I mean, are they thinking in terms of, I need to move to the cloud, I can't have this premise-based software anymore. So I mean, there's always that sort of disconnect in between how we in the business talk and how the end users talk.
So you're absolutely right, and that's the real challenge. I think a lot of other industries have adopted cloud many moons ago, and we've had cloud for a number of years, as I said. But the hotelier, he's kind of going, well, what's the benefit to me? He doesn't really see it. And now we're seeing, the adoption of Microsoft, of iPhone, iCloud, Microsoft advertising on the television about Azure and all the kind of things. People are beginning to think, this cloud is something to really get to grips with. Fundamentally, it's a huge benefit to hoteliers. Data security is much better in a data center. The amount of money spent on security and everything else is obviously considerably more than they're used to spending in terms of a little server sitting under the front desk of a hotel reception. So in terms of functionality in the application space, it's not changing the world completely, but in terms of being able to deploy these solutions and in terms of when we step into the world of PCI compliance and GDPR, which is a hot topic at the moment, that is particularly much more easy to manage when you're in a data center environment, i.e. in a cloud environment.
I mean, that's quite interesting because a lot of people that we've talked to about voice seem to think that the consumer application of voice, Google Home, Siri, Amazon Alexa, that is alerting business users to the potential of voice. And you're saying that the way in which Microsoft is talking about the cloud on its TV adverts is making small hoteliers think, the cloud it's normal now. It's nothing. It's nothing geeky. So that's great.
Exactly.
I mean,
normalising it all. Yeah.
I mean, within the hotel space, there's so much going on. I'm not really sure where to begin. But one of the things that we're finding quite interesting is the way in which the major consumer-facing OTAs, specifically Booking.com and Expedia Inc., are now offering, de facto B2B solutions for their hotel partners, almost in a way that is, competitive or comparable to what a lot of the hospitality tech businesses are providing. So when you look at Expedia launching its sort of partner network and Booking giving its hotel partners access to presumably cloud-based data, I mean, is that a challenge for you, or is that just something that you can use as a sort of differentiating pivot?
I think so. Look, we work with all of those providers in partnership, in a very collaborative way. In that their core business is about collecting the guest in terms of finding the room that they want in any particular hotel and sending that room down to us. And at the same time, we're publishing the availability of the hotel up to those partners. So in many ways, we work closely. Obviously now, as you say, they're stepping into more of our backyard with the development of these applications that are targeted very much almost competitively alongside ours. I think the differentiator, though, is that we always have to remember what is our sole purpose for being, if you like, and that is we're about providing technology to make hoteliers' lives a whole lot easier, filling the rooms, making the guest stay better and everything else. So we've got a lot of experience and we're building a lot of detailed functionality into the application in order to deliver that. A lot of these bigger players, Expedia, Booking and everything else, they're developing some fairly good applications, but they're quite light. And they're quite light because their way of doing business is sitting corporately and then deploying them all sort of centrally or remotely, whereas we actually engage with the hoteliers on site, install them face to face and everything else. And so there's a lot more detail behind them, I would say. So,
Okay. I mean, another dynamic in hospitality is Airbnb. I assume you've heard of Airbnb. I mean, we know that people, consumers, end users, guests are using Airbnb, but I'm talked to other hospitality tech and revenue management or revenue strategy businesses today about the way in which Airbnb, by adding rates and availability into the market, is making you work differently. So are you having to sort of develop any particular products and services now as a result of Airbnb being in the market that you maybe weren't before it reached the scale that it has? Yeah,
so I think Airbnb is coming up with some mixed publicity, should we say, because they've taken 10% of the availability out of London, or the demand of hotel rooms. They currently sell, 10% of the room stock, or they hold 10% of the room stock in London. Now that, in itself, means there is less demand for hotels, therefore fewer hotels will be built, which is not ideal for myself because my customer is the hotelier. So in that regard, it's a bit of an issue. However, on the other hand, we work with service department companies and even some hotels. They're publishing their availability through the medium of Airbnb as well, even though they are traditional hotel or apartment service providers. So at the end of the day, Airbnb is just another channel to sell rooms through, and the fact that room stock is owned by individuals in a private enterprise environment, generally speaking, then we just have to make sure that we can, offer hoteliers the ability to challenge those private providers of their apartments on the same basis. We're seeing, I guess the thing is we're seeing consumers go to the Airbnb website and be booking apartments or whatever that sometimes belong to the private individual, which is what you and I would know Airbnb for. But really, behind that, there are a bunch of corporates who have built large apartment buildings and are selling their apartments through the Airbnb platform.
I mean, that's quite interesting. I mean, one phrase that I haven't heard for a while is co-opetition. I don't know who it was who phrased that. Right. So you cooperating and competing with Airbnb and Expedia and Booking.com, which must be a challenge and quite exciting. I mean, it's certainly exciting for us to write about.
Indeed, and we're seeing a lot of that. And I think every business is looking to always sort of diversify a bit and stay within the sphere of hospitality. And anyway, long may that continue.
Yeah, and as we know, nothing ever stands still in travel tech. So,
indeed.
Rupert Gutteridge, Sales and Marketing Director for Guestline. Thanks very much for joining us.
Pleasure.
Martin Cowan, contributing editor for tNooz. This is tnoozLIVE at ITB, presented by Travelaer.